Welcome back, my friends. If you've made it to this episode, I want to begin by saying thank you. Over the course of this series, we've explored a different way of thinking about goals, persistence, and success, especially for neurodivergent minds. We've talked about executive function, systems over outcomes, values, small actions, structure, tools, and self-compassion. Today isn't about adding anything new. It's about stepping back, taking a breath, and asking, what does all of this look like when we actually live it? Many of us are taught that success looks a certain way, right? Some ways like consistency without interruption, linear progress, clear timelines, visible productivity. And when our lives didn't follow that path, it often felt like we were doing something wrong. But neurodivergent lives are rarely linear. And that doesn't make them unsuccessful. It makes them human. Redefining persistence also means redefining success. If we take everything we've talked about in this series and bring it together, success begins to look very different. Different in ways such as success might look like returning after a break, like adjusting instead of quitting, or like choosing a smaller step when the big one feels impossible. It might look quiet. It might not be visible to everyone else, but it's real. Living with your brain rather than against it means measuring success by sustainability, not strain. One of the most damaging beliefs that people carry is the idea that any single setback defines them. But persistence isn't a verdict, it's a relationship. A relationship with your energy, with your attention, and also with your nervous system. And like any relationship, it evolves. What worked in one season may not work in another, and that doesn't mean you failed. I'd like to say something that's very important now. You do not have to apply everything from this series all at once. You don't have to remember every concept. You don't have to do this perfectly. You're allowed to revisit episodes that you need. You're allowed to pause. And you're allowed to rest. Growth that respects your limits is not slower, it's more durable. My friends, if you ever feel stuck again, and most of us will, you can come back to just one question. The question is, what would make this a little easier on my brain today? That question alone carries compassion, curiosity, and wisdom. And it's enough to help you take the next step, whatever that looks like. As we close this series, I want to leave you with this. You don't need to become someone else to reach your goals. You don't need to override your nature or push past your limits. You are allowed to build a life and pursue goals in a way that honors how you function. Persistence isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about returning to yourself again and again with understanding. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust that your way forward doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It's your way forward. My friends, if this series has been helpful to you, you're welcome to return to it whenever you need a reminder that you're not broken, just wired differently. Thank you for being here.